to me, it's such a part of who I am, which is funny because in the last couple of years, I haven't done as much, but it's still totally, it's like seeing a family member when you're out, when I see the Victory logo. I don't know, it just feels like it's totally assimilated to part of who I am. And I think a lot of people feel that way. I know who've done marketing, so many people feel that Victory is part of their life experience. I know it definitely has been for most of us who started here from the beginning.
Steve Wilsey and I are members of the Villanova Football Club, and we have great tailgates. We have a big tent and everything, and it's a lot of fun. Well, typically they bring the swill beers. You know, you got like the light beers. Some people bring those, and other people bring, you know, the regular Budweiser or something like that. Well, we were bringing, you know, Victory beers. And a lot of people didn't know, this is over the last few years, people didn't know what it was. Well, now when we come up and we bring like 4 coolers of Victory, the guys come running over. It's like, they go, where's the Victory? You know, and we kind of used the lager to introduce them to real beer, you know, from the swill. But we have guys that immediately, it's the Hop Devil. And at times we get requests for the Golden Monkey, although as a tailgate beer, there's issues in using, you know, something that strong. So typically you have lager, Prima, and Golden Monkey, but it's gotten to the point where we have to move some of the coolers behind the tables because it goes like that.
My Victory is Storm King Cask, just because it's delicious, because it has all the characters that I like about most beverages. Coffee. It has the chocolatey undertones, and I'm a chocoholic, and it's just really creamy and smooth, and I love it. And it's not on all the time, so it's sort of like a treat when it is.
He was a young lady came in here with her boyfriend or spouse and said, you know, I'm a Coors Light drinker, you know, and I'm probably not going to like any of your beers here. So they, of course, brought out a lager for her, and she said, it's all right. And I just whispered, I don't know who was tending bar that day, I just whispered, I said, give her a Golden Monkey. So he had 2 or 3 other beers up, and the last one, she said, what's this? And he said, we call it Golden Monkey. It's a Belgian-style beer. So she sipped it and tried it, and she goes, oh my God, this is beer?
I'd have a 6th barrel of Hop Devil on at my home bar, and having people who, particularly women, who say they don't like beer, they like wine, and I've often found that I like beer, I'm not crazy about wine, you know, but some of those, especially the big dry red wines, the women who were drinking beer were drinking beer that kind of tasted like wet cardboard, I think, and making their decisions based on that, and they could find a beer that they could, you know, sip and enjoy and think, wow, they didn't realize beer could taste like that.
What you have is a whole range of beers that, actually that tastes, a whole range of beers that are just well made. The thing I run into most where people either don't like Victory or don't talk well about Victory is actually people who are, well, to be honest, people that are so well experienced with craft beer that they ought to know better, but they apparently don't. Victory makes almost classic examples of classic types of beers, and I say almost classic because they put their own twist on it. Hop Devil, for instance, is not a classic American IPA, nor is it a classic English IPA. It's Victory's IPA, which is almost kind of a Belgian approach to things, because it's mine, I drink it my way, which is great. I mean, Prima, I gave these guys crap for years about Prima, like, you know, it's really too hoppy, and they just kept nodding and smiling, and finally I shut up, because I like drinking it.
You know, the thing about Prima Pils, which is one of Victory's best known beers, but certainly just one of a lineup of amazing beers, is that Prima Pils was the first Pils that taught me that I could appreciate a Pils. Frankly, the old world Pils style, when done amazingly well, still, it's kind of, okay, it's polite, like, you know, crumpets and tea and little old ladies and hats. But I think it's no mystery that I like something a little bigger and bolder and forward. along comes the Prima Pils. And of course, I wanted to be dismissive of it, as I just like being dismissive of most things that I don't know that much about human nature, and something I'm particularly good at. And I tried this Prima Pils with every prejudice that I could muster in my body, and yet it still shined through. Prima Pils told me that you can have a Pils and it can be beautiful, it can be robust, it can be forthright, just come right out there and say, yes, I am not afraid and I am not dainty. In fact, I refuse to be dainty. And that's what I love about Prima Pils. I can now drink a Pilsner. Prima Pils has made Pilsner safe in my world. Bless you guys. Bless you.
Showing up with a victory van, especially, I'm sure it speaks now is the same, but in the past, you know, it couldn't be closer to if Santa was to make a public appearance. There's some, you know, it could have been the, you know, seeing Jesus, you know, just, holding it in their hand, drinking it, you could see their joy. And then I've definitely had numerous others, a sour face, I need a Miller Lite. Give me a Miller Lite, please, you know.
January of 1995, I get a phone call from a local real estate broker saying he had a tenant, prospective tenant, who was looking for some industrial space in Downingtown. Could he come out to see what we had renamed the Downingtown Tech Center, space at the Downingtown Tech Center? And I said, sure, as I often field these phone calls from brokers. My first question is, what business are they in? And the broker said, well, they want to open up a microbrewery. So I rolled my eyes and said, sure, I'll meet you out there. And but quickly learned that these two young guys were both master brewers. They were walking around talking about spending a lot of money. And I'm looking at these two young guys and Mr. Kowaleski, and I'm like, you know, I'm not spending any of this money. So I remember saying to Mr. Kowaleski, listen, I'll give you an allowance to light the place and heat the place, but, you know, all this other stuff that you guys are talking about amongst yourselves, you know, plumbing and, you know, air conditioning, and that's on you. And I remember going back to the office and telling my partner, Jack, I just met these two guys who want to open up a microbrewery, and I said, you know, the space is empty. You might as well lease it to them. You know, maybe they'll be in business 6 months or a year, but the Exton bypass hadn't been completed in 1995, and these guys were going to open up an actual pub in the bowels of this industrial park that had no access to Route 30, you know, and I just didn't get it. I was like, you know, there were no other things like it in this marketplace. So, you know, I was just like, all right, if you guys, you know, that's what you guys want to do.
It was a struggle. It was a struggle. I mean, Ron and Bill were great from the get-go and learning to know what they were doing, what they were about. But it was definitely a push getting the place open. They had a different focus. The focus was definitely beer, not food-oriented. So it was a challenge trying to get focus moving towards menu and a restaurant when everything was sort of early on just beer, beer, beer.
We had a 36-inch char broiler, and there was this big push to make cheesesteaks. And everyone's like, oh, you got to put cheesesteaks, and you need a flat top griddle in order to cook a cheesesteak. So I took a 36-inch char broiler, and I had this guy, a machinist, fabricate a stainless steel plate with edges around it, 18 inches, to fit next to an 18-inch char broiler. So I was cooking burgers on 18 inches of grill and then cheesesteaks on 18 inches. And the thing wasn't rolled right or whatever. He buckled this thing. So instead of it being a flat top, it was a mushroom top. And all the grease from the cheesesteaks are rolling down into the open flame of the char broiler. So we've got this blowtorch effect.
It was like pulling teeth to get Ron and Bill to literally, you would watch these tanks roll through like missile silos, but yet asking for a new flat top grill that was $200, and here's a $250,000 bottling line getting rolled through or installed by 40 German guys who were living here for a month. It was crazy. You know, what the kitchen staff had to endure early on before the renovation was nothing short of miraculous or mind-boggling. The amount of food they kicked out on borrowed pieces of equipment from a cafeteria line. It would blow you away to see what they had to work with early on.
And then I'm like running the expediter position where I'm like, okay, this walked in, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, oh, I would see like 4 cheesesteaks and 2 burgers on 1 ticket. And I knew that we'd better get the fire extinguishers ready because at any moment, this whole place is going to burn to the ground. I mean, it was awful.
I wasn't a big beer guy. I enjoyed microbrews. Again, they were just getting started at that point. I thought the concept was great and definitely wanted to be a part of it. But I think the biggest thing was just Bill and Ron's confidence in the product and in their vision that really everybody bought into here, including me. I never thought this place was going to fail. I thought it was going to do well.
Who does the credit for the company's success belong to, Bill or Ron? I'm going to have to say it belongs to me. Because when I was there, I was able to take the focus off of them for a while, and I actually left at the exact time to allow them to take it to another level. So I will take all of the credit.
Like our friends Bill and Ron at the Victory Brewing Company, we've been hard at work, never ending, never stopping, never pausing for the last 15 years. Victory got their start just 6 months before the Stone Brewing Company, and we've been following in their footsteps ever since. Well, it's camaraderie, and that's okay. You know what? They're 6 months older, which means we need to pay them a little bit of respect. So that's what this video is about, is giving a little respect to our friends Bill and Ron, Victory Brewing Company, our elders. Yeah, it has been a lot of work over the years, never varying, never going off of the focus or veering from the focus that we have to put into this business to make this kind of thing happen. It's grueling, it's tough, and it's something that I really honestly wouldn't wish it on anyone, including Bill and Ron. But you know what, as the saying goes, somebody's got to do it. Is that good? Good. Yeah, the truth is, I'm glad it's really not like that at all. I know, as Bill and Ron know, it's really just about this. Hey guys, if you're still watching, you know what I'm saying? Power to you, brother. Ah, this is the good life. Where's lunch? I ordered it 10 minutes ago. The hell?
So, Victory Brewing Company, my homies down in town. It's funny, whenever we're here at the brewery and doing my work, sending my emails in the afternoon, right around now, around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I started thinking of Victory and you know, the work Bill and Ron and everyone there has done over the last 15 years, and it's distracting, frankly. It's kind of distracting, to be honest with you.